Good morning. How is everybody this beautiful Friday? Um, this is such a cool spot. I'm actually on a little floating thing, and then I'm looking right here. Isn't that fun? I guess I could just flip it around. But yeah, so I'm on this little bank. I don't know what it's called. Again, so I just had this thought as I was sitting here. I was like doing a little meditation and just being still and quiet because, that's part of really being, uh, close and connected to God and figuring out what you're going to do next. And I had been thinking about this topic for a while and how, I'm going to turn this so you can see the cool sky behind me. And those cool birds, do you hear them? Hey, Eric. So I was thinking about how often do we resist doing something because maybe it's uncomfortable, right? Maybe it's a time consumer or something that we're just not feeling that we want to do. But sometimes it's because we're afraid of looking stupid or feeling stupid, even if nobody's around. And so I wanted to share with you some experiences that I've had with this because even in childbirth, one of the reasons and one of the things that causes pain in childbirth is this feeling that you can't do what your body needs you to do. Meaning you will feel stupid if you opened up your mouth and growled or yelled or expressed any kind of feeling, emotion that wasn't in alignment with what other people thought was okay. And that causes pain. So just as that causes pain in labor and childbirth, it causes pain in your emotional healing and in your growth. Because if you're not willing to do things that are different, that push the limits and are uncomfortable, and sometimes they are really like weird looking. So like for me, one of the first things that I had tried that was really strange looking was the tapping, where you're tapping on different meridian points on your body that help to release negative emotional interrupts and static and stuff like that. Oh, I don't want to leave these, so I'm going to keep them with me. And I remember being desperate to try something that would help my husband because he was such in a dark place about 15 years ago. 13 years ago. And I was willing to do whatever I needed to do to help him. And he was willing to do it too because he had seen all of these different people. And so it was funny because that's what worked. That's what helped him was this physical moving of the energy, and obviously prayer and all that. And sometimes that can feel weird for people too. Like if you've never prayed before and all of a sudden you're trying to connect with God and you're like, hey, God, who am I talking to? I feel like I'm talking to myself, right? And at first there's this discomfort and this feeling stupid, like, this is dumb. I'm not going to do it. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you. So as you think about this next thing, where in your life are you resisting healing because of feeling stupid? And that's a hard thing because in life, most of us have gone to school and nobody wants to feel stupid. Nobody wants to feel like the one that someone else is going to make fun of. Nobody wants to feel like the person that doesn't understand, right, or get it. And so we all try to cover that up or try to not look like we're in pain, literally even in childbirth, because nobody wants to feel that vulnerability and that sense of being I don't have my crap together, or maybe I'm doing it wrong, or whatever. And that's just not the case, because that's how you learn is you go through those things. So with the exercise that I was asking, it was so funny because I am a very positive, person. I'm going to turn this way so I can see. I hear this rustling in the leaves behind me, and it's kind of creeping me out a little bit, but I'm pretty sure there's no alligators around me, so I'm just going to stick with that. So I asked for this angry playlist, like, what are your angry songs? And I had so many people, and it respond with all of their different angry music, and I thought, oh my gosh, these are my people. Like, they've got their angry songs. I don't have any, and now I've got like a huge playlist. And so the purpose of that playlist was that I threw my back out last week or a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, because of emotional reasons. So sometimes in our lives, what happens is we have these emotional disconnects, and I could feel it coming up because I was just about to teach that workshop on relieving grief for people who'd lost children. So I could feel all of these emotions bubbling up, and I consciously made a choice to say, I don't want to, because it's painful. And I don't want to deal with it right now. And so I just ignored it, got busy as we do. I've got like all these kids and a husband and a business, right? I have lots of things I can do. So I didn't make time to go through the emotions. Well, what happened? I sprained my back. Now, if you know anything about energy work, it's kind of like, oh, okay, so there was something emotionally inside of me. And it's not like I actually did anything. I actually did not do anything that sprained my back. So what happened was I was in a weakened emotional state. And when you're in a weakened emotional state and you do the things that you normally do, because your body is weaker, you get injured quicker. So that's what happened to me. And it took me out for a couple of weeks. And I remember talking to Tammy, one of my friends who was doing some work on me. And she said, how do you feel about anger? And I was like, not super comfortable, actually. I actually don't like anger, because the last time I really screamed and yelled was when I found my baby, and that was super traumatic and something that I didn't want to re-trigger. And granted, I have had a few experiences where I've done this, and I'll tell you about them. But basically, because I didn't want to trigger that, I shut that anger down, because I didn't want to deal with the pain and the emotions that come with that. And so, even knowing this, I did it, right? Intentionally. So then back goes out. I have nothing to do but sit there. So I'm like, okay. She's like, listen to your angry songs, get some that you can relate to, and sing and sing and sing until the feeling moves through you. And so one night, I just couldn't get myself to do it. I don't listen to music like that. And I was laying in bed. This was like Thursday night, Friday night. And I could feel some of this anger well up inside of me, this emotion, this upset. And I almost went to my phone to watch a show, because I was like, I just don't want to. And I thought, you know what? I got to practice what I preach. So 10:30 at night, I look over at my husband. He's like sleeping. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go for a drive. He's like, all right, be safe, because he knows I got to process stuff, right? And so I immediately, as I get in the car, it starts to just come up, and I just start yelling questions to God, and one of them, and they were pretty dark, and I was not saying them nicely. I was yelling them, and I was like really just harnessing in that belly of emotion of just the why questions, right? Because sometimes those are the questions we want to understand, and we don't. And so as I was getting all of this out and just purging and purging and purging, I was trying to look for a place where I could go where it was quiet, where I could just sit and yell in my car. And so I found a church parking lot. It was still too lit up, but at least I got some stuff out, right? And then I started listening to the music. And as it was interesting, because I was like the beats and the feeling that was in the music was what I was feeling right then. And I listened to a few songs, and it felt complete. I was like, oh, that didn't take too long. It was like 30 minutes. And I drove around looking for another quiet place, and there wasn't. It was quiet, but it was bright, and I felt like I had done my work, and I had prayed beforehand. Isn't that funny? I just pray for space to be safe, because I don't want to get, too negative. But it helped me to purge the emotion of anger out by expressing it. And even Christ expressed his anger, right? Like, turned over tables in the temples, by what people were doing. Hey, Lavelle. That experience was uncomfortable. It did feel stupid sometimes. It did feel like I didn't want to do it, because it's easier to numb. But the problem with numbing is it doesn't go away. It is buried inside your body, and it shows up in physical ailments and in mental issues. And so for me, like sharing this with you, those are some of the things that when I do this course coming up on Tuesday, when we start, we're going to do every Tuesday for an hour for 4 weeks. We're going to dive into some of those techniques and tools And they're not going to be as, um, hard to do as some of the ones that I've done, but they're going to be baby steps, and they're going to teach you ways that you can dive in and do some work so that you can create a better feeling of joy in your life. Because when you're living in a constant state of numbing and a constant state of not feeling and really experiencing life, of course you're going to look for ways to numb it out. Of course you're going to be unhappy and unfulfilled and not understand what the whole is from. And so that's what we're going to go through in this course, is how to do those things. And it's a twofold thing. Like, the best way to figure out what your issues are is pick a goal. Pick a goal and then go to work. So this is kind of the backside of the work, because you got to change your actions and you have to change the emotional start of that. And where does it all start? It's from your past. It's everything that happened to you in childhood, and you heal those things by looking at them and by going through these processes. It's just, there's no getting around it. There's no getting around it, you guys. And so I hope that you join me. And I've made it super, super affordable. I've made it $149, which, if you break that down into how much it is weekly, it's super, super affordable. And for those of you who just want to watch the recorded version and do the homework with us, you will get all of the tools you need. It's $49. Come on. Like, that is so doable and so simple and easy. And it's something that, if you are somebody who likes to do goals, do the class so that you can get your goal. And if you're somebody who knows that you have stuff in the background playing and you're not sure what to do to release emotion, to create new habits, to create a plan of joy, and do all these things that help you to progress, then that's another good reason to do it. So I actually designed a lot of it from the first class I did, which was to help mothers who'd lost children. And yet I realized everybody needs this. There's not anybody who wouldn't benefit from this, unless you were just not ready. So if you are ready, just shoot me a message. I'll send you my info, and I hope you have a great day. And I hope you are willing to be brave, and do those things that are required for healing and growth, because that's why we're here. We're not here to be comfortable. We're not here to experience a life of complete ease and nothingness. Like, that wasn't the point, And so I hope that you'll join me on this journey. So I will see you later. And hey, Becky, nice to see you. And have a great day.